Hi, my name is Chrisman Frank. I'm co-founder and CEO of Synthesis. The mission of Synthesis is to accelerate human progress through education. Education should be about solving problems because I think what we want people to be able to do is solve problems. If we solve problems, we get progress. We wanted to create something that was focused on this idea of progress, focused on helping kids to believe in the idea of progress. Ad Astra was a school that Elon started for his kids and some of the other SpaceX engineers. Elon's approach is always like rethink everything from first principles. And so when he started working with Josh to create the school, his first principles approach was school is about learning tools, and we want it to be about solving problems, like implicitly solve problems like the people at SpaceX or Tesla, so we can colonize Mars and get sustainable transport faster. Josh had come up with this approach using games. So he'd create these complex problems in the form of games, put kids on teams so they get to cooperate in the team, which is fun, and then compete against the other teams. And the kids would just get completely obsessed with this. And what struck me was just the level of discourse that was going on. And these kids are 13 and you're like, man, I would hire you right now and you'd be like in the top 10% of our employees here. I wasn't thinking about starting a company. After a couple years and kind of trying various other ways to get Synthesis out into the world and more accessible, just kind of realized like we had to start a company. If you think about the purpose of thinking, it's to make better decisions. Kids do not really get the opportunity to make a lot of decisions. So one of the things when kids join Synthesis that they find jarring at first is we don't tell them the rules. So you're just thrown into this game. There's a scoreboard, and then you have to figure out what puts points on the board, and it's often very complex. First step is you're going through this process like a scientist of coming up with conjecture, hypotheses, like ideas for how this thing might work. And then you have to go through the process of like poking holes in that, kind of refuting your own explanations and figuring out how the thing works. Then there's a question of strategy. You're just going to get used to that idea of coming up with ideas, sharing them with the group, getting the feedback, and adjusting. It's definitely a difficult process to get kids initiated into, but once they pick that up, it's pretty remarkable how fast they can adopt this process. It's an hour a week with a cohort, so you're with the same kind of group of students, like 15 to 20 students and the same teacher. And the games are changing, but the people that you're with is basically static, and the schedule is static. You'll break up into breakout rooms on teams, so teams of like 3 to 4. You compete in the game and try to figure out the rules of the game, and then you come back to the main room, and the teacher will kind of lead a conversation about what did you figure out, and that's Socratic method. So that's the way it is right now. We're working on launching what we call the Synthesis Network. Instead of 1 hour a week on a fixed schedule, kids will have like your friends on Synthesis and be able to join them and play different games whenever they want. So that's launching to our current customers over the next month or so, and we'll hope to have that basically open to everybody in January of 2022.